Välkomna till Teach Me Sweden. Det här är en historiepodcast om svensk historia där två komiker försöker lära varandra historia från Sverige. Jag heter Erik Broström.
And I'm Jonathan Rollins, and in this episode I'll be teaching Erik about a man who changed his name and tried to change the monarchy game.
Oof. Word.
Nothing else. What's up, buddy?
Haha, såg dig inte. Kul att se dig.
Hey, it's good to see you too, man. I'm really hyped about this story I'm gonna tell you. I learned I got into it and I was like like this is one of those that made me like, oh my god.
Ja, fy fan vad kul. Ja, jag kan inte.
It was like it's juicy, man.
Alltså, jag är så redo. Det här är juicy. Is it erotic?
A little.
Oh!
It's a little erotic. It's I could tell you that it's scandalous.
Scandalous and erotic.
Scandalous and kind of erotic.
Okay. Kind of erotic. Du har min nyfikenhet.
Make a guess, man. Scandalous.
Skandal
kind of
och lite erotiskt. Är det Gustav V som sladdar av vägen vid Kungens kurva för att han blev avsugen? Okej, det är inte den. Se på ditt expression att det inte är den.
What happened with Gustav V?
Allegedly så har han åkt i en bil och han var kan ha varit closeted homosexual.
Okay.
Och anledningen till att han heter Kungens kurva är för att han kraschade sin bil där. Och då säger ryktet att han blev avsugen av en kille och hade dåligt fokus.
Did you know do you know Teddy Pendergrass?
Hört
you
namnet.
know it's a soul singer.
Yeah.
And he was paralyzed. At the end of his life, he was paralyzed
Because of a blowjob.
A lot of people say he was getting a blowjob from a guy
When driving.
while driving, and he crashed the car. I think the other person died.
Det är som när man förföljer homosexuella och inte låter dem göra sina saker som vi andra. Då får de göra i en bil när den andra kör.
Yes.
How smart is that? För det finns inte en enda kille som har blivit avsugen av en tjej i en bil. Och det finns inget filmmaterial på det heller, det kan jag vara helt säker på. Det kan inte bygga upp ett helt franchise inom porrindustrin på just den grejen. Herregud.
I know, right? Kungens kurva.
So now you
Damn,
know.
I learned something on my own teaching episode.
Precis, det var inte ens min tur.
Man. Well, it is my turn, and I'm going to read you my story. First of all, this story was suggested by Johan. Thank you, Johan. I found this to be so juicy.
Shout out to
Shout out to Johan.
Och tack för att du heter som alla andra i historien som vi pratar om.
And other people can send in suggestions to us.
Ja!
Yes, they can send suggestions to teachmesweden@gmail.com. If you write it in English, then I'll take the story. If you write it in Swedish,
på svenska så tar jag hand om det här.
Yeah, and it's fun to get some interaction and for people to let us know what they want to hear from us.
Och ni behöver inte skicka in en uppsats, bara led oss på rätt väg. Och skriv gärna en uppsats. Men jag menar,
we've gotten both.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Tips om en... För det är svårt. Det är svårt att bara komma på vad man ska prata om nästa gång och vad som är viktigt och vad som är... Tips är asnice.
Yeah. And so we'll get into this. Also, you can support us. Patreon.com/teachmesweden.
Glöm inte det.
If you want to support us financially or write a review.
Ingenting i världen är gratis. Varför ska podcasts vara det?
And they are.
Yeah.
All right. Kurt Alfred Johansson.
Kurt Alfred Johansson. Okay.
Was born on May 14th, 1897. His father, Alfred, was a fish and shellfish merchant, and his mother was a woman.
Som vanligt. Det finns ingen uppgift. Nej, okej.
Kurt's father, Alfred, was a supplier to the courts, the royal courts. So the family crossed paths with the upper levels of society, such as the royal family.
Levererar han fisk till kungahuset?
You know, they're eating a lot of fish.
Okay, cool.
They're eating a lot of shellfish too.
Yeah, and they are shellfish. Okay.
So shellfish.
So shellfish.
Yeah, they have a lot of money to throw around, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Tax money. Kurt claims that he sold Mayflowers to King Gustav V in 1912.
Det är han! Han pratar in i som honom.
He was 15 when that was his claim to fame growing up. Yeah, I sold some Mayflowers to King Gustav V.
Vad fan?
Yeah. By 18, Kurt was working on various steamships as an attendant. He was an office worker, an actor, and an illusionist.
Oh! Det är aldrig bra när de två sakerna är på en person. Skådespelare, illusionist. Okej. Fan också.
Sure, buddy. And you work in an office? Check your pockets, everybody. Check your fucking pockets.
The illusion part is stealing it and the actor part is lying. Nej, jag var i kafferummet. Nej, jag kan inte ha gjort det.
Din planbok.
Nej, herregud.
He had some run-ins with the law.
Såklart.
He got convicted 6 times of various crimes, resulting in him being sentenced to forced labor punishments that they used to have back in the day. Imagine that shit. Forced labor. One crime that he was convicted of involved the death of a police officer.
Oh, shit.
According to Kurt, he was suspected of forgery, and the cop...
Eller som han skulle kalla det, illusioning.
Yes. This is now your signature. He got chased by a cop.
Yeah.
He ran off. The cop starts chasing him. And then he was like, you know what? I'm going to kill myself. I don't want to live anymore. So he grabbed the cop's gun and tried to kill himself. And the cop tried to stop him from killing himself. This is his story.
Det här is this the acting part?
And then the gun went off. And he's now a dead cop.
That poor police officer accidentally got shot 17 times.
And when I saw the way he died, I was like, I don't want this for myself. So I no
Varför
longer...
laddade han om när han redan hade hunnit skjuta sig själv för att skjuta sig själv 7 gånger till?
And the courts believed him. Now this checks out.
Wow.
This checks out. However, there's a dead cop out there. You pulled the trigger-ish. So you get 18 months of forced labor.
Rimligt. Om det hade varit sant. Att det gick till så.
Right?
Men det är ändå rimligt att han får straff då.
Yeah, man. He must be a straight-up con artist. Now we move on to our other major player in the story.
Ooh.
Gustav V was crowned king in 1907.
Oh, snap! Jag var inte helt ute och cykla. Shit!
He was crowned king in 1907, reigned until his death in 1950. He was known for his height. He was tall at 192, which is 6'3" and a half. In my country's or smarter people. No,
It's smart to measure by feet.
They're all different lengths. It makes so much sense.
6
Sounds
feet.
good on paper.
6 feet? What size, motherfucker?
The imperial system. But he was known for that, being tall. He was known for his seeming sympathy for the Nazi regime in Germany.
Yeah.
Who can blame him?
Proud.
And his love and his love of the sport of tennis.
Just det, han spelar tennis igen. Det visste jag faktiskt.
Really?
Ja, men jag bara visste det. Jag vet inget mer.
And for his speaking publicly on political matters. He didn't mind.
Jaha.
Speaking his mind.
Inte hans jobb däremot. Det är väl det som är grejen. Att kungen inte ska ha det.
Right. They were saying that to him. And he was like...
Men jag tycker det.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Prime Minister resigned during World War I when Gustav V blindsided him with a speech about how Sweden needed to build up their military strength. And the king was like, what's the big deal? I can't talk to my people? What's up? And then the prime minister at the time resigned and he was replaced by Dog. I'm sorry, by Dog's father.
Pappa till Dag. Vad är det för tönt som satt innan? Kolla, kungen som inte ska lägger sig i. Och han bara, lägg inte i. Han bara, jo. Okej.
and then quit.
Ja, men nu slutar jag.
They probably told him to quit. Hey man, don't be questioning me in public like that, man.
Don't question the king.
You gonna do that shit in front of company, man? As he was like, you blindsided me, man. You could have told me you were gonna say something.
Eller hur?
Talk to my people.
I talk to my people and I play tennis.
One rumor that quietly circulated about King Gustav V was that he rather enjoyed the company of young men. Young men. He was believed to be a closeted homosexual.
Jesus Christ. Fan vad jag gissade typ nästan rätt.
Well done.
Okay.
He wore stylish pince-nez glasses. That's the ones without the arms.
Som bara sätter sig så här. Ja.
Yeah.
Hur?
And he had a pointed mustache.
Ja.
So everybody should have known anyway.
Sounds,
But he also, to add to that, to those other things, he hit on some of the young men that he came in contact with around the courts. That's what
det var en ledtråd.
Yeah. Your Majesty, there's a penis in your mouth. That's just between you and me.
You want to see my forehand?
Of course, if it was true, then this would have been something the courts would have done a lot to keep quiet.
Såklart. Det här är ju länge sedan.
Homosexuality is still not allowed in Sweden. One could end up in the mental hospital.
Ja, det var en psykisk sjukdom ju. På den tiden.
And this is the 30s, 40s-ish.
Jag ska understryka att det var inte en psykisk sjukdom. Det klassades som en psykisk sjukdom.
It's ridiculous. So back to Kurt Alfred Johansson.
Ja.
Kurt did his time for accidentally shooting that policeman. You remember him?
Ja, det var ju världens olyckshändelse.
And that horribly botched suicide attempt.
Var det lite som i Die Hard 4, som inte är den bästa av dem, när han skjuter sig själv genom axeln och dödar skurken. Motherfucker! Så han bara, jag ska skjuta mig själv i hjärtat. Pam! Och jag missar. Nej, står du bakom?
No. The last words he heard were yippee-ki-yay.
Of course.
He didn't want to be associated with the situation, so he changed his name. From now on, he would be Kurt Haijby. Haijby.
What?
Haijby.
How does that spell?
Haijby.
Haibi. Haijby.
Haijby.
Kurt Haijby.
Kurt Haijby.
That's a weird name.
He wandered around Europe for a bit. He spent some time in France. He even joined the French military faction known as the French Legion.
Jävlar.
Yeah.
Jävlar, det är såna här klassiker när man säger heartbroken people.
Yeah.
Så här, jag tror att det är så här,
the king doesn't want me.
Ja, men det är så här Donald Duck-grej, att det alltid typ är att så här, när någon är deppig i Kalle Anka, jag kommer inte ihåg varför det är Kalle Anka-grej, men att de alltid så här, franska främlingslegionen, så här, jag måste glömma bort vem jag har för mig att det är någon sån grej, jag kommer inte ihåg varför jag tror det, men det är alltid klassiker.
But he ended up deserting the French Legion because, well, he's Swedish.
Yeah.
We've heard about deserters before. Like, wait a minute, why would I remain in a French military group?
Vi är underbara quitters.
He lived in the US for a bit, and then in 1931, he married a widow named Anna Christina Bolin.
Anna Christina Bolin.
Yeah, she was 10 years older than him.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say she was 10 years old.
She was 10 years old. That's the only fact I know about her. Yeah. She didn't have a job. She was 10 years old.
But han fick henne att verka äldre because he's an illusionist.
She's 24. Like, no, she's still 10.
10 år äldre. Okay.
She's still 10.
Yeah.
Anna owned a cafe in Lidingö. And in 1932, they decided to acquire this restaurant in Stockholm called Lido.
Va? Lidl?
Lido. Not
Lido.
Lido.
Okay. L-I-D-O.
The problem was, even though he had changed his name, he still had his criminal record.
Såklart.
It wasn't enough. So because of that, it was hard for him to secure a liquor license.
Yeah.
And he didn't have many powerful friends that could help him, but he did remember that he used to sell Mayflowers to a certain powerful
fucking king
figure. Yes. King Gustav V. Gustav V now, he's 74 years old.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But back in the day, Haijby remembered that horny old King Gustav had approached him with some lustful intentions.
Oh my God! Jesus!
So Haijby, he said that getting in touch with the king, getting back in touch with him, it led to a sexual relationship that lasted for a few years, according to Haijby.
I några år?
For a few years, that's his words. And word got to the powers that be that King Gustav desired for permission to be granted for an alcohol license to a certain Kurt Haijby.
Efter 4 år.
No. you finally gotten the king off. His Majesty has come.
Det har inte sett ut som att du har gillat det på 3,5 år, men på den senaste tiden så har du faktiskt...
No, but that was just like right away. But he says that they started fucking around and it lasted for years. But he got his... They said, yo, the king was like, hey man, that little license we're talking about, let's make it happen. But regardless, it seems that the Haijby couple was bad at business. And in 1934, they went bankrupt. In April of 1936, they filed for divorce.
Jesus.
And Anna stated her reason for getting a divorce was that her husband cheated on her with Gustav V.
Okej. Så hur... Hon måste ju ha vetat att det var svårt för honom att få ett alkoholtillstånd. Och han bara, men jag knullar kungen. Men jag säger ingenting till henne. Och så kommer han så här är tillståndet. Hon bara, hur fick du det? Tur. Alltså...
They have this new program, reintegration.
Jag gick på måfå till kungen och sa, utan att göra något utbyte mot sexuella tjänster, kan jag få ett alkoholtillstånd? Och han sa ja.
Divorce documents are public records. And authorities did not want this reason to be public.
Ooh.
The situation was tricky for many reasons. Homosexuality was criminalized.
Ja.
So Kurt couldn't come out and openly say, hey man, I'm fucking the king.
Nej.
That would only get him in trouble since the king has legal immunity.
Just det, så han kan inte hamna i skiten.
Yeah.
Men lilla Kurt kan.
So the king could well say, yeah, we used to fuck, so what? But the monarchy didn't want to risk scandal.
Det är rykten då. Han är ändå, kungen är en ambassadör för Sverige.
Yeah. So if a couple wanted to, say, extort money from a monarchy, this could be a
bra
pretty
läge.
good
Och
way.
det gjorde hon säkert, eller? No,
They had a secret that could, quote unquote, accidentally get out in a way that doesn't admit to a crime, but could result in hush money, as we call it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's what this is.
Nej.
But it's pretty much what this looks like. It was common knowledge at the time amongst many that the king has homosexual tendencies. He was alleged to have approached male staff with the intent to ride male staffs. I thought that was good.
Det är inte tendencies. Det är aristokratisk mumbo jumbo.
I would like to ride your staff. My staff.
Forgive my homosexual tendency. But I shall ride you.
I am grabbing your cock.
It's a tendency.
I tend to grab your cock. Anna Haijby went on to change the reason for filing her divorce. Kurt said that she got 15,000 crowns from the government. But either way, she changed her reason for divorce to lång och varaktig söndring.
Bra substitut.
The royal attorney Conrad Quenzel was assigned to the situation. They're like, yo, fix this shit. And he thought the solution was to get Haijby to leave the country. He just wanted the shit to be over with. Anna and Kurt realized they're onto something. So they continued to try to squeeze money out of the court.
Ooh.
They allegedly got a little over 34,000 during this period. And the courts gave Haijby 1,500 crowns to go to America. And once he got there, they said that we'll give you another 3,000 to get you started in your life. Then it's like the 1930s, 40s. So it's pretty good money.
Är de tillsammans igen nu? När de märker att de kan...
That's the thing. They're back and forth. They're off and on. Haijby accepted the deal.
Of course.
He went to the U.S. And then shortly he came back. He was like, you know what? The government cheated me. They cheated me out of money and they never paid me what they agreed to.
Yeah.
He even said, you know what? And also, I can't go to America because I got this criminal record.
Yeah. So
you know, I don't know if I believe that part.
Så här har vi lite actor.
Yeah, it's the actor part again. With the illusion. So now Haijby said that he was on the run. He's like, I'm on the run. They're after me.
Var han det?
That's what he called himself. He's like, I'm on the run.
Okay.
Like, sir, you are standing still. But somehow they were able to buy back this restaurant, Lido.
Ja, fan, det gick ju, de kan ju inte.
And they're saying it's the money that they saved up from the courts that they've been getting. And then they, as a couple, again, entered into negotiations with the royal court.
Wow.
And after deliberation, including the king had some input on this, they received some assistance. The Haijbys would get a coffee shop and approval to rent Tristorp's castle in Närke. And there they could set up a boarding home. So this is like they're getting real estate from the fucking monarchy.
That's crazy.
And 30,000 crowns for decoration. So you can make it nice. You know, we can't give you this castle and not any money for furniture.
Nej, såklart. Nej, fan, om vi fått ett slott så måste vi också ha några 100,000 för att inreda.
But don't think the court went away quietly. In 1938, they began an investigation against Haijby on suspicion of sexual immorality with minors in Särö, which is a town on the west coast, just south of Gothenburg. Haijby was alleged to have had an improper relations with an 11 and 13-year-old.
Aj.
And the 13-year-old had received permission from his parents to share a hotel room with Haijby for a week. The fuck is going on?
Kolla, återigen ligger Sverige före USA. Exakt det här som Michael Jackson gjorde. Han fick tillåtelse från föräldrarna.
I know, right? I'm thinking, I think back then they weren't equipped. This is my guess off of this. This is my little hobby psychology thing. But I think they weren't equipped to know how to handle it when somebody's homosexual. And they think homosexual means that you're like a deviant. You know what I mean? So then they're like, oh, well, he can't help it. He's gay anyway. He might as well go sleep with this.
Om jag skickar 11-åriga Birk med den här skumma mannen.
No, I think the parents are like, well, my kid, I don't know what to do. I guess he can go with it. You know what I mean? It's almost like they don't think the kid is a kid.
Han gillar inte kvinnor, så det här är inget barn längre.
Once you like your own gender, you're an adult.
Men den här 8-åringen verkar ju inte veta vad han har för sexualitet.
A few months later, the kid ran away from home. And proving that it was a child, he said he was going to ride his bike from Gothenburg to Stockholm in order to find Haijby.
Var det ett bevis på att han var ett barn?
It's proof that you're a kid if you think it's a good idea to ride your bicycle from Gothenburg to Stockholm to see your love interest.
Challenge accepted! Jag ska cykla till Göteborg!
Father, can I have my pump? In case my bike goes flat. Haijby had a lawyer named Henning Sjöström who said that there was no legal authority for this arrest, as the evidence in that they had was insufficient for this case. But both boys had previously testified about the abuse, even though he said it wasn't even a good case. Haijby was not prosecuted. I wonder if it has something to do with his
connections with the king.
I don't know. But he was taken to Beckomberga Mental Hospital.
Jävlar, Beckomberga! Det var länge sedan jag hörde talas om det.
He was taken there for observation, something that at the time was recommended by the medical board in the case of homosexual prostitution against minors, is what they called it. The chief physician in charge, named Harald Rabe, was soon able to rule out mental illness. And on December 21st, Kurt was discharged as healthy, according to his patient note.
Jesus. När jag var liten, då var fortfarande Beckomberga aktivt som ett mentalsjukhus. Så man brukar säga det. Åk till Beckomberga, jävla CP, typ så. Inte den mest upplysta förolämpningen, men det var ungefär så vi sa.
Okay. The court had by this time paid out at least 100,000 crowns to Haijby. And before being discharged from Beckomberga Hospital, he had a choice between prosecution and immigration, like leaving, exile, I guess.
Yeah.
He was persuaded in return for to leave in return, he would get a monthly maintenance of 425 crowns. And he had to sign an agreement to refrain from further accusations against the king.
Okej, så nu sätter de ner foten.
They're like, yeah, you get...
Enough is enough.
You get an allowance, 425 crowns a month. Just shut the fuck up.
Or what?
Stockholm...
Go to jail? Or
go to jail, yeah.
Yeah.
You either get prosecuted for this shit you did, or you... the police chief, Stockholm's police chief contributed with the help of Germans to make this happen, like figure this whole thing out.
Is this in the 30s?
I want to say the 40s now.
Okay, so there's definitely Nazis involved now.
Yeah. He said, as far as all of my crimes, can you just not see it? Pretend you do not see what I'm doing. Sometime later, so he took the deal.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I get my allowance. I'll go to Germany. Thank you. Then, while in Germany, he was arrested, accused of 2 new counts of lewdness with underage boys.
Men vad fan, kom igen nu.
And eventually convicted.
Och i Tyskland, de gillade homosexuella väldigt lite.
After serving his sentence, Haijby remained in Gestapo custody due to a further investigation into false reporting. So they probably just made that shit up.
Ja, det låter som... Du har ju hoppat på med de här pojkarna. Och
so then...
rapporterat falskt också.
So the police chief in Gothenburg got a call from the Gestapo. And they said they wanted to know, do the Swedish police have any interest in this guy? Because they're saying, we have him here. And he's in...
And we can handle him here.
We have him in a concentration camp right now.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy to take care of him. Imagine this phone call. We have... Hi, hello?
We have the Kurt Haijby.
There's a molester?
There's a dirty molester and a homosexual.
He's in a concentration camp.
We can take care of him.
He concentrates on little boys.
We can put him in the chamber with the gas.
Yeah. So the request from the Gestapo, they said it's a routine request.
Okay.
They said it's protective custody. Is what they call it in the concentration camps.
Det är det jag brukar kalla alla som satt i koncentrationsläger. Det är protective custody.
Yeah, protective custody in the concentration camp. And we do it for sex offenders. It's like a thing we do here.
Yes, we protect them from themselves.
And then the Gothenburg police were like, no, we'll take them.
Ja, okej. Vad fint. Jag var lite rädd för att de skulle typ bara bli av med problemet.
So in February of 1940, Haijby was deported to Sweden and allowed to return to his wife and his restaurant.
Va?
And yeah.
Varför då helt plötsligt?
I think they feel like they can't do too much to this guy.
Nej, okej. Nej.
He's got this big secret.
Nej, okej. Ja. Men okej, jag säger inte att det hade varit rätt, men det hade ju varit enkelt att lämna honom där.
Yeah.
Ja. Men, och hatten av för att de inte gjorde det. Det är ju helt fel moraliskt. Men...
He's trying to extort you.
Ja,
He's
precis.
been milking this.
Men det är fortfarande fel moraliskt.
Yeah, I agree. No, I wasn't saying. Okay.
Jag bara säger att det hade inte varit första gången någon hade agerat omoraliskt i enkelhetens syfte.
Yeah. So upon his return to Sweden, Haijby contacted a scandal writer.
Nej!
And but this writer was monitored by phone because of the state of the whole situation. Nazis coming up and all this stuff, and you never know what type of shit's gonna come up about. Who knows? I don't know. A gay monarch.
Yeah.
So the guy's name is Gustav Eriksson, and then with the intent, he had the intention of publishing a key novel about everything.
Wow.
He's like, I'll just say it all. Plus, they had stopped giving him that 425 crowns since he came back.
Yeah.
Per month, and he said, "Yo, my pay stopped." And then this guy named Alvar Zetterqvist was the head of the criminal police in Stockholm. Was asked to persuade Haijby to be voluntarily admitted to Beckomberga. And this was in 1941 now. And in order for him to get treatment for his nerves, because he was like, he had nervous issues and he said he was depressed and he needed peace and quiet. And Zetterqvist said that he was mostly furloughed from the hospital to be able to participate in the restaurant Lido. So they let him back out of the hospital.
Okay.
To be back with Anna, he's off and on with her. So beginning 1945, he's in charge of the restaurant, and he was told that his liquor license can't be renewed. They said it's the serious crimes of your past. You're done. No more liquor license.
Yeah.
And he said that this is when his mental health starts deteriorating. He can't take it anymore. He probably feels like he's probably feeling like I can't milk this situation anymore.
Så han bestämde sig för att skjuta sig själv, men han råkade döda 5 poliser istället.
He was admitted to Södersjukhuset under the diagnosis of depression. I didn't know you can...
Om jag har suttit på ett koncentrationsläger och blivit förhörd av Gestapo, jag kan tänka mig att man blir deprimerad.
It's gotten tough, yeah.
Det finns lite PTSD där.
And he might not... I don't want to show sympathy for child offenders or whatever.
Nej, självklart inte.
But he might know it's wrong and feels like he can't... You know what I'm saying? He's probably conflicted about it. He's got to be conflicted about it.
Jag tror att långt ifrån alla child molesters och pedofiler njuter av det. Jag tror att eftersom det är en psykisk störning, så tror jag att många mår jättedåligt av det. Utan att försvara det, såklart. Det här är inte en debatt om det.
No.
Fortsätt.
But during 1946, another 15,000 was paid to Haijby. As long as he didn't print a book. Don't put a book out. All right, buddy. Here's 15,000.
Don't put a book out.
And then, despite this, he published his accusations of legal abuse against him in the self-published key novel, Patrick Kajson Goes Again is the name of it. I guess it's in Swedish.
Okay.
The book left the printing house on December 5th, 1947. And there were 1,000 copies printed. And during December, Zetterqvist, the guy, the chief, and Reich Marshal Ekeberg met with the Minister of Justice, Zetterberg, and Zetterberg told the government. And they were like, we don't need this to come out. So the chief of police bought up
det var det jag hoppades att du skulle säga.
all of them, all that he could. He bought up every edition that he could and stored it in the police station. And the purchase was partially paid for with part of the court administration's previously issued funds, which Kurt Haijby left in Zetterqvist's custody.
Okay.
And what's her name? Anna was worried about his mental health, so she had left some money to try to take care of him. So they took some of his own care money.
De köpte hans böcker för hans egna pengar. Fy fan vad fint.
Over time, Haijby became interested in getting the book back out there.
Eller sålde ju.
Can we get some more copies out there? And then he contacted him, and then he bought back the books in 1951 because the word had kind of gotten out, and they were like, "It's not as bad as we thought." You know, people. It's just like a bunch of rumors about the king. It's probably this whole story you mentioned. Kungens kurva probably had already, and they're just like, you know what, the king has been reckless. He's getting blowjobs in the car. Fuck it, man. This dude's milked us for so much. But Anna had made some payments to get this deal going.
Okay.
So she's working behind the scenes. They're both. I feel like they're like a con artist couple. I don't know. That's the vibe I get. So Haijby published another edition in 1952, and then another edition was published again in 1979. So there have been attempts to get this out. After the death of King Gustav V in October of 1950, Kurt wrote a large number of letters to several different authorities about legal abuses he claimed he had been subjected to. The chancellor received a request from the government.
Tror du, vänta nu, han sålde majblommor till kungen när han var liten. Det finns ju, jag har en kompis som studerar liksom sexualstörningar. De säger att det är inte alltid så, men det är vanligt att folk som utvecklar sådana störningar, alltså pedofilstörningar, själva har blivit utsatta för det.
Yeah.
Så att det, nu ska inte jag säga det här är ju bara rykten han sprider, men intressant.
Yeah. But I didn't see anywhere what he's alleging besides legal abuse. He's saying legal abuse is what he's saying too.
Illegal, inte illegal.
No, he's saying
abuse is always illegal.
Abuses of the law, I mean.
Legal abuse. Inte sexual
nature.
Say,
they doesn't say that. It just says about the legal abuses he says he's been subjected to.
Okay. Okay.
And then an investigation came out to find out if there was any basis of his claims. And then the investigation ended in 1952, and it showed that his accusations were largely unfounded. And he said it's also clear that the court paid out large sums and took other measures with the apparent aim of silencing him. So they said they were going to seal the results of this investigation, because of course. And they didn't see, so the Chancellor of Justice couldn't see any abuse by any official, but he believed that there was evidence of blackmail on the part of Haijby.
Okay. Ja.
So they submitted their investigation to the national prosecutor.
Finns det väl klara bevis för?
Who in turn had another investigation carried out. This sounds so Swedish. And then this led to the prosecution of Kurt Haijby.
Wow.
And behind closed doors, he was sentenced on December 22nd, 1952 to 8 years of penal servitude for aggravated extortion.
Han satte igång sitt eget åtal. Vilket jävla idiot alltså.
And the verdict could be handed down mainly by Zetterqvist, who had been dealing with this whole situation. Yeah. And the sentence was reduced in 1953 by the Court of Appeals to 6 years of penal servitude, which is that hard labor.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's funny, it's called penal.
Yeah, it's a word pun in there. Let's not investigate.
No, we won't. We won't delve into the penal servitude. But the penal servitude will delve into us.
Vi kunde inte låta bli.
Nope. Haijby was released from prison in 1956 for health reasons.
Okay.
After several rejected clemency applications.
What, depression?
So he lived from 56 to 65, and in 1965 he committed suicide.
Men hur många poliser dog?
He committed suicide 1 year after Anna Haijby died.
Okay. Så det fanns någonting där i alla fall då.
Yeah. In 1952, the Haijby-affären became one of the major events of the year, and a couple editorials of Dagens Nyheter. They argued that what happened was outrageous and required a public clarification of what happened. Of course, they were never going to get that.
Nej.
And sometimes very heated debates in the press and Riksdag, there were talks of judicial rot, of course, and the actions of certain senior officials in connection with the affair were criticized, of course. Wilhelm Moberg, in particular, was active in criticizing both the Swedish legal society and the monarchy as an institution.
Ja, men men det handlar ju inte om det här, det handlar ju om att han inte gillar monarkin bara. Alltså...
Yeah, but this is a good reason not to like the monarchy.
Sure!
We tried to hide... You took money that's our tax money and you paid this person just so we don't find out that you are homosexual.
Jag hade gjort exakt samma sak. Jag gör exakt samma sak i detta.
If I got the power, I'm hiding my
så jag lever mitt liv. Jag är ju miljonär, men jag ger alla mina pengar för att jag vill inte att alla mina hemligheter ska komma ut.
Yeah.
Så gör jag.
The validity of this story has been constantly questioned. Some say Haijby made up most of it and that the couple are con artists. However, something had to have happened, or else why would the royal court give so much money?
Det är klart att det hände någonting.
It's estimated that the couple received over $1 million crowns over time.
Wow.
And why would the court give so much money to some lying con artists?
Verkligen.
So that is the story of the Haijby-affären. Haijby-affären. Shout out to Johan for that one. That was great.
Very good, Johan. Very good indeed.
Juicy, right?
Väldigt juicy.
I was like, whoa! I loved it.
Ja, det var bra. Ja, det var jävligt bra. Jag undrar lite så här, var det erotiskt? Ja, det var det. I alla fall när det var två vuxna. Det var lite erotiskt.
Yeah. And then it's just creepy otherwise.
The other shit is creepy.
Yeah.
Tänk vad nära han höll på att bli dödad av Gestapo.
Be in a concentration camp and hoping that in Gothenburg the police chief is going to be like, or maybe he's over there feeling like I'm untouchable.
Nu ska jag lägga fram ett krasst förslag här. Hade det varit bättre om han hade blivit dödad i koncentrationsläget för honom? Då hade han sluppit hela den här processen sen, sitta i fängelse och allt den här skiten liksom.
If it could have happened before he hurt those other 2 kids in Germany.
Nej, just det var ju där ja. Nej, han hade fortfarande varit ett as.
Yeah,
för han hade barn här och sen hade han barn i Tyskland.
Yeah, it's at least 4 kids.
Yeah, that's true.
That he took advantage of.
And if there were 4, there were more.
Probably more, yeah. Yeah, especially with him having a castle.
Eller hur?
Like there's no telling what went on.
Och ett slott har många rum, men det är också källare. Det kan man ge sig fan på att de har typ 17 vinkällare. Så det är 17 celler. Du kan stänga in folk.
Fuck is this not a movie? Right?
Du, förra avsnittet med Dag Hammarskjöld, jag kollade lite. Han har porträtterats en gång i en amerikansk produktion och han är inte ens huvudrollen.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Sweden! We should call this Should Have Been a Movie. Swedish history stories that should have been a movie.
Ja. Teach Me Sweden byter namn till Should Have Been a Movie. Det låter lite som en så här 50-tals do-up. Should have been a movie. Should have been a movie. Should have been a movie. Should have been a movie.
Should have been a movie.
Should have been a movie. Let's write it. It should have been a movie.
Should have been a movie.
Should have been. Should have been a movie.
Thank y'all for checking this episode out of Teach Me Sweden. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
Och Erik Broström.
Teaching you Sweden. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yeah.
Peace.
Should have been a movie.